during your run with WWE, you had some memorable feuds with the likes of Matt Hardy, which is a real entertaining feud. With all your sports games you was on. Yeah, that was great. But also some of the best matches you had were also with Chris Benoit, who you've credited with helping you a lot with your career. Tell us a bit about your experiences with Chris.
Chris was my favorite wrestler. So when I was on the independent scene, as I was coming into it, I was a huge fan of Dynamite Kid, and it blew me away because Dynamite was years before his time in terms of his ability and the things he used to do. And it blew me away that somebody could emulate one of the best ever and be as good, if not better. And Chris did that. And when he was in Japan, I mean, he even wore the blue and white, just like Dynamite, when he was Pegasus Kid, Wild Pegasus. And I studied him for years. He was my guy. So when I got a chance to meet him and we started talking about Japanese wrestling and we hit it off, he immediately took an interest in me and he said, well, I'm gonna give you my address. Send me a few DVDs of your matches. I'll watch them and I'll give you some criticism. And that's if you're an actor and De Niro says, yeah, let me see some of your clips, I'll check it out, So I did, and one day he called me and said, hey man, I watched him, and he didn't just watch him, he took notes. So specifically there were things we discussed, and that was the birth of a friendship. And I'm always very adamant about saying Chris's demise was horrific, and what he did was tragic, it was horrible. But people are so quick to say, oh, he's a murderer, you support a murderer, you protect a murderer. I don't protect him, but I don't think people really take into consideration mental illness. He was my friend and he was my mentor. And the guy that I knew wouldn't have done that. But I also remember lots of times when Chris and I were in the ring and he would completely black out. He couldn't remember things, and it would happen all the time. So afterwards we find out that he had the brain of a 70-year-old man with multiple concussions. And when people all the time snap, it happens. People snap, they lose their mind and they do something horrific. And I can't discount. I mean, I remember I spent time with him and his family and I saw the love and I saw the interaction. So it's not like one day he said, you know what, I'm gonna be a total prick and I'm gonna do something ridiculous. Something happened that we don't completely understand. And in society, sadly enough, there's a very negative stigma towards mental illness. If someone has cancer, we feel sorry for them. But if someone's a schizophrenic, oh, that guy's crazy, And people who, have these issues tend to be afraid to come out with their issues because they're scared to be ridiculed. And I think as a society, we need to look at that, especially in the US now. We've got all these issues with mass shootings. But if you look back, a lot of these people suffer from mental illness or they were taking antidepressants. So there's something else going on there that, we need to look at. But overall, Chris, in my opinion, without question, was the best technical wrestler ever to step through the ropes, and I credit a huge portion of my WWE success to him.